Could Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway be gearing up to make a move into silver and gold? That may seem preposterous, I understand, but I'm going to lay out to you what Warren Buffett and his Berkshire Hathaway company see going on right now in the economy, because we received some very surprising news from them. But more importantly, does Warren Buffett have a secret plan to make a move into the silver and gold arena? Has he ever done either or both in the past? We're going to talk about that as well. I appreciate you guys being here. Please give this a thumbs up. And don't forget, you can always subscribe to Ron's Basement. It's free, even when I'm on the balcony. You're the basement dweller. You're a balcony dweller as well right now. But each and every one of you is super important. You know that. And I appreciate you being here. It's my honor that you've joined me out of the blue on a Sunday night. Now, let's talk about what's going on with Berkshire Hathaway. We got news that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has a record level of cash on their books. Essentially, they've been selling stocks. Now, what does that tell us? That tells us that Warren Buffett, who's a very smart man and a very opportunistic investor, and his Berkshire Hathaway companies see big trouble coming down the pike for the U.S. economy. Now, we know what that means. We know. We cover this ad nauseum, but we'll cover it one more time. When the economy shoots craps, guys, the Fed is going to react so fast. They're going to print money so fast, it's going to make everyone's head spins, because everything has been ratcheted up. If we look at the past little trouble periods we've been through, right? The tech bubble burst, the great financial crisis, we're skipping over a lot of them, but the QE, the money printing, comes faster and faster. And what Berkshire Hathaway is telling us is that if we read between the lines, and even if we listen to directly what they say, we're headed for some very challenging times. Tomorrow I plan on doing a whole video about trouble in the banking sector, but Berkshire's telling us there's enough trouble right now. And we're going to talk about why I believe, okay, Warren Buffett's a smart guy, that sometime in the next 6 months, we may hear big news about Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway moving into the precious metals sector. That'll most likely be in terms of them moving into the mining sector. Again, we're going to cover more of that a little bit later in this video, but right now I want to just get you up to speed and tell you a couple things. Let's dive into this article from Zero Hedge that Buffett had to say. It says right here, Berkshire Hathaway cash pile hits an all-time high of $157 billion. Berkshire Hathaway has raised $157 billion as Buffett sells a record $38 billion in stock in the last year. They are selling. Guys, the only reason Warren Buffett would be selling stock is if he thought that the economy was headed for big trouble. There's no other reason why. Okay, there's no other reason why. Cash pile grown by $10 billion in the third quarter alone. Cash deployment is definitely slowing. That's what guy from Edward Jones says, Jim Shanahan. Ultimately, Berkshire is going to start feeling some pressure to put that cash to work. But that's not where it gets real interesting. Let me read you what they had to say regarding their business. Here, Berkshire said this: to varying degrees, our operating businesses have been impacted by government and private sector actions to mitigate the adverse economic effects of the C-19 virus and its variants, as well as by the development of geopolitical conflicts, supply chain disruptions, and government actions to slow inflation. Berkshire said the economic effects from these events over longer term cannot be reasonably estimated at this time. He's telling us we don't know what's going on in the economy. We see trouble in the economy. How did they put it? Very interesting here. Government actions to slow inflation. Okay? That's the tightening we're getting in the economy. He's telling us they're seeing that. The actions they're taking, selling stock, raising a record amount of cash. Now, why would Warren Buffett move into the precious metals sector? Well, let's take a little look at history. For you silver buffs, you may know that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett bought a huge, massive amount of silver. This was decades ago, but they made a major, major bet on the silver market. And from what I've read about it, they did quite well during that process. So Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett have a history of actually buying physical silver. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as my knowledge and reading and the annals of silver have taught me over the years, that's an absolute fact. Warren and Charlie know the value of silver, and let me tell you something. And that's what Berkshire Hathaway is telling us. They don't see good values. He's an opportunistic investor. He will buy good values. What about news? What if we get news that Warren Buffett bought gold or silver mining stock? What would that do to the entire sector? Well, let's just back up just 3 years ago, guys, okay? Back in August of 2020, there was big news, major news, when Berkshire Hathaway bought stock in Barrick Mining, a big, huge gold mining company. Yes, okay, 3 years ago. So we have a recent history. Now, they didn't hold it all that long. They held it for like 6 months, and then they got out. But let me explain to you why, two things about that. Number one, when that happened back then, that was like rocket fuel, super support for the gold price, for the gold mining stocks, because immediately everybody said, Warren Buffett's buying gold mining stocks. Warren Buffett's buying gold mining stocks. Okay? That's a big deal. And it happened within the last 3 years. What do we know? We know that Warren's looking at the economy and he's seeing slowing growth. Okay? He's seeing slowing sales. He talked about that in the most recent letter. He's seeing rising prices. Let me tell you something. Warren's a basement dweller. He knows, like you and I, what's coming, and that's stagflation. He's lived through stagflation. He invested during periods of stagflation during the 70s. I guarantee you, he's thinking seriously right now about gold and silver mining stocks. That's just my thought. Very, very well possible. I don't know. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. But why wouldn't Warren Buffett be looking at gold mining and silver mining stocks? For two big reasons. Or the metals themselves, for two big reasons. Okay? Number one, they're positioned to do well. The metals themselves are positioned to do so well in the coming decade, the stagflationary environment that we're in. Guys, we can see $40 silver. We can see $2,600 gold. I already guaranteed you we're going to see $2,600 gold next year. Don't make any financial decisions based upon my very strong gut feeling that we're going to get $2,500 or $2,600 gold next year. But I have been following this closely for decades and decades, and I think the probability of that occurring is very, very high. Warren Buffett also knows the metals themselves are positioned to do very well. Stagflationary environment, but the big key, the big thing we're going to be looking for is when he moves into the mining stocks. Will that affect the price of the metals? You're darn tooting it will, right? When we hear about people buy, remember the Costco thing? That's kind of died down a little bit, but we're not going to forget about it. Housewives and husbands, houseboys, whatever you want to call them, that are out there buying gold from Costco, right? Ordering their jars of pickles, their diapers, their Clorox wipes, whatever they buy, their toilet paper, and oh, what the heck, I might as well get an ounce of gold while I'm at it, okay? Warren knows that as well, but even more importantly, okay, I know not all of you like to dig into financial statements. Don't worry, I do it for you. I have a degree in accounting. I know what a balance sheet is. I know what an income statement is. Thank you. Wow. Kevin Hingold, thank you for the super chat. I forgot about super chats. Super chats are always very appreciated, but absolutely never expected. Everything I do in terms of content for free. Yes, I have sponsors, right? But only companies that I either own stock in the company or do business with, one of which is Pimbex. If you want to get your gold or silver before Warren Buffett buys it all, I'd imagine Warren Buffett probably is a customer of Pimbex, because Pimbex is the best value out there. They check all the boxes. Trustworthy? Yeah, definitely. Best selection, customer service, and their prices are the best. You get the best value at Pimbex. You get more metal for your dollar. Go check out the video Coin Shop Chris and I put out this afternoon. He'll show you that on a 1 kilo bar, you can actually get 3 free ounces of silver when you compare the price at Pimbex on the 1 kilo of Alcambi bar to the highest of the big online bullion dealers. You save $80, $90. You can buy yourself an extra 3 free ounces of silver. What do you think of that, right? I'm not done talking about Warren Buffett, because he knows silver and gold are a great value right now, like you do and I do. But I'll tell you, the companies, the mining companies, and that's where he would really invest. And that's where we would get this big, further awakening of the value in the metals, in the mining stocks. Look, musicians can read music sheets. I can read balance sheets, income statements. I can tell you by any measure, mining stocks, whether you're talking about the explorers, the developers, the intermediate producers, or the big mining companies, by any metric, we are at near or at all-time low valuations. That's an absolute fact. There's value there. When does Warren Buffett like to invest? When there's value, when there's blood in the streets. And if there's one sector where there's blood in the streets, okay, blood in the streets, and it's come into the houses, it came into my basement, there's blood in my basement, there's blood in my portfolio, right? I would have told my parents a year ago, I would have put their money into mining stocks and said they were a great value, and they were. And they've become even more of a slaughterhouse over the last year. That's when Warren Buffett likes to invest. So I think we could see and hear about Warren Buffett, especially with this big news that was out over the weekend that he's selling stock, okay? And again, just that alone tells us that he's not confident. And he's even telling us directly, Berkshire Hathaway is telling us, we're not confident in the U.S. economy going forward. There is a high level of uncertainty, okay? On the macro picture, let's review to what we talked about at the beginning. On the macro picture, that uncertainty, that trouble coming down the pike for the U.S. economy. Oh, did I mention we have 33 trillion? Only 33 trillion. You know, a trillion's a million. Anyway, 33 trillion in debt. Right? On top of all the other negative factors coming together for the U.S. economy, let's review. Right? When the going gets tough for the U.S. economy, Jerome's going to print. Warren knows that. Warren knows the best value out there right now. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I appreciate you guys getting on here with me for a Snap live stream. Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to our other primary sponsor, First Mining Gold. If you want to get gold in the ground in Canada, check out First Mining Gold. FirstMiningGold.com is the website. You can also reach out to Paul Morris. He's their Director of Investor Relations. His contact information is in the description of this and every video. RonsBasement.com, www.ronsbasement.com. It's actually coming along, okay? Excuse me. Our one of our fellow basement dwellers has been working very hard to get RonsBasement.com. Go check it out, www.ronsbasement.com. Within a few weeks, we're going to have a forum up where you can go 24 hours a day and talk to other basement dwellers, other people who love to talk about silver and gold. It's going to be a great place because we love to talk and chatter amongst ourselves in the chat section of these live streams, but there'll be a place, a little room, whatever you want to call it, a chat room, I don't know, a basement room, a finished basement. We're trying to come up still with a good tag. The finished basement. Yeah, anyway, a place where we can go and talk and chat amongst ourselves. Guys, it's going to be interesting this week to see if gold and silver can hold up. I'll be happy if next week we're sitting here and gold has held. If we're above $2,000, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a bigger smile than I have on my face right now. But nothing gives me as great of a smile as when we get to 100 thumbs up, and we're almost there, guys. I'm not going to quit. My kids are waiting for me to take them to the lazy river. If I don't get to 100 thumbs up, they're going to come out here and who knows what they may do. Can we please get a few more thumbs up? We can get to 100, I'm telling you. I'm absolutely telling you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk, I'll give you a sneak peek. We're going to talk about the banks. And I've got something about the banks that very few people are talking about. And let me tell you something. When the banks go kaputty, right, the Fed is going to pivot. The Fed is going to print faster than anything. And there's one indicator that can tell us that the banks are doing absolutely horrifically right now. We're going to cover that tomorrow morning. We only need 4 more thumbs up. Come on, man. We can do it. This, it looks like this. You press it. Those banks, it is not looking good at all. 98 thumbs up. Hello, Jake's Custom Parts. Good to see you. Coin Shop Chris. Guys, do me a favor. Type 5 in the comments to thank the moderators. We got the best moderator team. We got the best people that come on these live chats. 150 of us out of the blue on a Sunday night. It's a big, big deal. It really is, okay? And the moderators do an awesome job. Jake's Custom Parts, Coin Shop Chris. I can't see because I don't have my normal setup, so I can't see too well. But Jim M is usually here. I know he goes to bed early. What a great guy. Annie, Mary Radcliffe. You guys are the best, okay? I want you to have a good Sunday night. I'm going overtime, so my daughter's going to come on here and start yelling at me soon. But have a good Sunday night, okay? Remember, you're never, ever alone. Remember, I made this promise that I'd put out one new piece of content, something, every day for the rest of my life. So we are friends. We really are. I mean, that's what this is all about at the end of the day. Yes, we want to protect ourselves, protect our wealth, but friendships and camaraderie, I think, trump everything. So thank you for being here. Thanks, Coin Shop Chris. Man, what a great guy. What a great friend. Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Go watch the conversation Coin Shop Chris and I had. He was throwing some real virtual ding-dongs at me. Have a great night, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.